Hundreds of pets have been displaced and injured by the fires. Many residents have had to take their animals to a shelter as well. Kevin McManus is from Pasadena Humane, one of those shelters. So Kevin, thank you so much for being with us. What's the situation in the shelter there? How many fire-affected animals are you taking care of right now?
Thanks for having me. So since the fire started over the last few days, we've taken in a total of almost 600 animals into our care, a good portion of whom came the very first day. So they were able to evacuate with their families. So the folks there lining up have their pets with them. And those were the ones we first got in. It was a massive number for one day. Since then, we've started to see either stray animals, animals who were maybe left at home or their families couldn't get back to retrieve them, and those that has increased the number significantly. We've also had people who have evacuated safely with their families or with their pets, but maybe were like living in a car or living in a hotel that just wasn't sustainable. We have a little bit of good news on that front, though. We've had over 100 animals who have been reunited and back home with their families.
Okay.
So it's been pretty a massive, massive amount of movement amount. So much so that, yeah, we have a lot of animals in offices and that kind of thing.
People, of course, we know have died in these fires. Kevin, at least 24 is the latest number. That number has just been updated. It's a terrible situation, but for many people, animals, their pets, are part of their family. Can you just talk us through the sort of injuries that those animals that you're looking after have sustained?
Yeah, of course. So with a lot of the animals who we've picked up, either our animal control officers out in the field or have been brought in by members of the community, have been suffering from some significant burn injuries, a lot of smoke inhalation problems, dehydration, the normal things that one would expect from a human caught in a house fire, but it's just a massive scale. So we're very lucky. We have a dedicated team of veterinarians and veterinary assistants who have been triaging and treating all these animals. And we're lucky to have an animal ICU, so we're able to do a lot of treatment in-house for the animals that have been coming in injured. We're partnering with veterinarian hospitals in the area where we've able to, kind of take some of our patients and transfer them to those other hospitals for care while we await what is inevitably going to be more animals coming through.
You say that some owners have managed to reclaim their pets, which is a little bit of good news, of course. If, though, after this emergency is done, some animals are not reclaimed, what happens to them?
Well, in the state of California, we have a mandatory stray hold period for any animal going into an animal shelter. And that's generally 5 days. We are extending that period for, I don't have an exact number of days, but certainly a number far greater than we would normally be holding any stray animal, because we know in the chaos and just the devastation that our neighborhood, which is the one that's directly beneath the Eaton fire, we know that people, it's going to take them a while to even maybe get in touch with us that we still have their pets. Ultimately, if no owner comes forward to reclaim those pets, then we're going to adopt them out, foster them out, but we're going to do everything we can to make sure they're reconnected with their families before we do that.
Okay, Kevin, before we let you go, what is the latest with that Eaton fire, and what was your experience of all of this and those of your friends and family?
Well, I have several. I know several folks who have lost their homes, which is tragic. No loss of life of anyone I know directly, but it's just been a massive, like a devastating hit to our community. Nearly every city that was or every place that was evacuated for that fire, our family member, our community, our employees. I was very lucky in that I was just outside of an evacuation area, but my wife and I had our cat carriers in our dining room with beds, a box of what we thought were our most valuable possessions that we can't afford to lose, family photos and that kind of thing. But it's been terrifying and just really to hard to imagine what the people who were actually in harm's way, and it's been just an emotional roller coaster, to be honest. And we're just so grateful that we have such a great community who's come forward, and anything we asked for, we got in droves. We've asked for dog beds and bowls and food to feed the pets who have come in, but also to provide food and or supplies for people who are reclaiming. And our parking lot was basically mountain full of donations by the third day. So it's been harrowing, but also so touching to have the community come together. So amazingly beautiful.